I'm Susie Hara. This is my book, Finder of Lost Objects, that I'll be reading from today. This is the opening chapter. Chapter 1, October 2005. On a sunny San Francisco morning after a string of foggy days, I sat on the red exercise ball in my office, wondering how I was going to pay the rent. When Grace Valdez walked in the door, I stood up and the ball rolled away from me on its slow trajectory along the sloping floor. "I saw your sign," she said. "I want to talk to you about finding something I've lost." I held out my hand. "My name is Sadie Garcia Miller." We shook hands. Hers was cool and dry. "Grace," she paused. "Valdez." "Please have a seat." She surveyed the rolling ball in my chairless office. I pulled out a folding chair and set it up for her. I sat back down on my ball behind the desk. Grace Valdez looked like she had blown across town from a more upscale neighborhood, the Marina or Pacific Heights. She looked about 10 years younger than me, around 30. Her jagged cut hair was shot through with subtle blonde highlights, and her tawny skin seemed to glow. She wore designer jeans and a nice pair of strappy heels. "What is it you're looking for?" I asked. She picked at her thumbnail cuticle. "My brother..." "Ms. Valdez," I hesitated. I needed the money. "I'd like to help you, but I don't find missing persons. I find lost objects. I can refer you to an excellent private investigator." No. Her voice was breathy, Marilyn Monroe-like. "I mean, my brother has what I'm looking for. The book. My brother has it." "A book?" Maybe I said it too loudly. Ms. Valdez flinched. Pretty jumpy for a woman in search of a simple book. But then, nothing is as it seems in my line of work. People say they're looking for an object, but they're really looking for a whole lot more. A way to fill up the emptiness, a way to cover the gaping hole. I'm an expert on that. "Mind if I smoke?" I said. She smiled for the first time and, taking out a pack of Camel filters, offered me one. I lit our cigarettes with the snap of my lighter. She drew on her cigarette. "This is nice. You don't get to smoke indoors much anymore." I know. I usually didn't smoke in the office, actually, because most of my clients would run screaming from the smell of cigarette smoke. But this was clearly an exception. I reached into the desk drawer, brought out the ashtray, and put it between us. "This might seem obvious, but have you asked your brother to give the book back?" "Of course. He says he doesn't have it, but he does. I know he does. He stole it from me, the pinche." She stopped herself. "Jerk." "I see. And what's the value of the book?" "Oh, I don't think it has much financial value." Sentimental value, then. You want that particular book, right? No other copy will do." "That's right," she said, and her eyes darkened. "The book is inscribed to me from my mother. She used to read it to me when I was a child. Since she's been gone, I have always treasured it." "Gone?" I said. "Do you mean..." "Heart attack when I was 12. "I'm sorry. I didn't tell her we had something in common." I chased away the hollow feeling in my chest. "Ms. Valdez, I have a few questions, if you don't mind." I opened my notebook. "When was the last time you saw your brother?" "It'll be 2 years ago this Christmas." "Did you ask him then if he had the book?" "No. It went missing after that." Her voice was edged with resentment. "And you contacted him?" "Many times, but he never responded." "Did something happen between you that caused him to break off communication?" Her eyes shifted to the right. I followed her gaze. Where she was looking, there was nothing interesting, only an oak filing cabinet, no pictures on the walls, no bookcases, no potted plants, and I knew, just like my grandpa taught me, she had to be hiding something. "I don't know," she said. "Where does your brother live?" "He used to live in Fresno, in the house where we grew up. But when I call, I either get the machine or one of our tias picks up. They live there too." Did you ask your tias? They won't talk to me either. And why is that? It doesn't matter, she said, waving away a puff of smoke. I wanted to tell her, yes, it does matter. Sometimes the smallest detail leads to the missing object. Instead, I let the silence hang between us, hoping it would draw her out. My aunts thought, she said, Joey and I were having an improper relationship. We weren't. They never believed me. I became the scapegoat. Know what I mean? They blamed it on you and not your brother. Of course, Grace said with a bitter smile. Yes, we always get blamed, don't we? I shook my head. She nodded. There was a hardness in her eyes and under it a hint of hurt. We smoked in silence for a time. Thank you.